It's all about music news, John, and Band Aid 40 has been released today, I think it was. Certainly on YouTube. It only dropped about 4 hours ago as we film this. And it's the 40th anniversary remake of Band Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas has been unveiled amid renewed discussion about the song's portrayal of Africa. Now, the new Ultimate Mix blends vocals from several versions of the charity single that has been recorded over the years, so that George Michael duets with Harry Styles and Chris Martin harmonises with the Sugar Babes. However, Ed Sheeran has objected to his vocals being recycled for the new track because the narrative has changed, and said he would have declined permission if he had been asked. In response, Spandau Ballet singer Tony Hadley, who sang on the original 1984 single, told BBC Radio 2, "I think they, critics like Sheeran, should shut up, to be honest." Hadley added, "If you take that route, then nobody does anything to help anyone, so it's just nonsense. Everyone's doing their bit and try and support various charities, and we were doing our bit innocently to support what was happening in Ethiopia. So what do we do? Do we just sit back and do nothing?" I'll not go on. It's a very lengthy. It's from the BBC. This, if you want to check it out.
I mean,
folks.
what I would say to that, as a sort of rebuttal to that, is that they did do a brilliant job of drumming up charitable donations
awareness.
For awareness for the Ethiopian famine back in the day, in the 1980s. But it was very much you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I mean, they won out of it. They got recognition as well. It became an iconic Christmas hit. So whilst it did have obviously charitable origins, ultimately they get the awareness and more people watching them, and they get to sort of benefit out of it too.
I might be wrong, John, but obviously I get what you're saying, but I think royalty-wise, I think it all goes into that charity.
Yeah, not in terms of
money,
financial gain, just talking about reputational, and obviously people see
I mean, people are always going to see that, and artists aren't they? They're going to see there's an agenda there, regardless of good intentions, but it's just the nature of the game, and it's the nature of people as well. It's been very suspicious. Who the fuck is Bananarama?
Who the fuck are Bananarama?
They were big. They were big.
One hit wonder.
I'm not picking on them. I didn't mind them, but what I mean is, it was the artist of the day, wasn't it? Back in the '84 version, George Michael, Boy George was in there. Obviously, Tony Hadley, Simon Le Bon was there. Major, Bono, Sting, Paul Weller.
Yeah, it's
Status
just
quo,
isn't it? It really is.
Collins.
I mean, it highlights for all to see just the regression in musical talent over the last 40 years. Because you see the likes of Bono, you see the likes of Paul Weller, and Major to an extent. Obviously, George Michael, unbelievable singer and frontman and just all-round pop star. And then you're just regressing to like fucking Dizzy Rascal and fucking randoms I've never heard of, and Ed Sheeran, and it's like, where have we went in the last 40 years? I mean, Ed's a fucking powerhouse. I don't want to be derisory. I liked Ed, and I still maintain there's songs that I do like of his. His first album I liked, like Lego House and things like. I never did bond with that fucking whatever the hell it was, A-Team. I fucking hated that song. But Lego House, and there was a couple of other songs I liked of Ed's, and even You Like Me, You Need Me, Man, I Don't Need You. Just the looting and the way that he would structure it was almost like a one-man band. So he's a very talented guy. You can't dismiss his writing abilities, because you can maybe dismiss whether you like the songs he's writing, but he's a hitmaster. He's not just writing songs for himself. It's constant onslaught of hits for other artists. Yeah. So as a musician and an artist, I can't knock him. What he's done is fucking unbelievable. When he releases an album, was number one after number one. Again, that could be more of a sort of critique of modern music standards in the charts, because certainly when I listen to the charts, and I do every Friday, it's like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? Why is this number one?
Music for you, isn't it? I mean, take you back to when you were interested in the charts. People of your age and my age, John, then would have been like, fucking rubbish shit, and it's not like my day. I'm not saying we're folky.
I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I can definitely say that.
I think
charts
just everyone has their sort of period in music that they like, society that is, and certainly this is not mine. I couldn't tell you what's in the top 40 anymore. I couldn't even tell you. I used to be able to tell you number ones all through the 90s, like, back in the day.
The number one just now is like Bruno Mars, I think, or something like that. Yeah. Patut, I don't know. I can tell you the way it goes, but I can't tell you the actual. Patootie. It's like but something like that. But it's,
John,
it screams of a rip-off of another song.
Talking about the Megamix, how did you feel about it? Because we listened to it earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, I did. I listened to it. too much talking, Stephen, in that particular video. It got dropped a couple of years ago.
I think the record might be different. I think that'll chop.
Yeah, they'll get
in
that.
terms of, as you said, the videos.
I understand why
there's a
they're doing it.
narrative,
It's
yeah.
portraying a narrative or showing you the rationale. Because a new generation of people won't be aware of this,
Yeah.
perhaps, so they have to be reintroduced to it. In terms of the mix, with some omissions, obviously, Kylie Minogue, I think they completely
What version was she in?
89, I think it
That
was.
was the Pete Waterman one.
Yeah,
though.
they just totally
I don't
omitted
think.
that.
I don't think Bob Geldof had anything to do with it.
That'll be why then. Yeah.
I think it was a Stock Aitken Waterman one. That's probably why. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they aren't in it. Obviously, Dizzy Rascal. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, you've got different acts from different generations harmonising and doing things. You get to see, obviously, the progression of Bono as well as he's got older. He's still got an incredible voice.
Yeah.
I did maintain that he was far better as a sort of artist than just general looks 40 years ago. He was just a cool looking guy. When he's wearing the tank tops and he's got the sort of long hair, he was just a cool looking geezer. And now he's just became a little bit fucking preachy and a bit
They all
ball-baggish.
do, the stadium band, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they're going to obviously.
I mean, I
have
still
it.
love Edge. Edge is fucking totally underappreciated guitarist. That
Even
guy.
the 2004 one, I think that was the 20th anniversary. One year, the likes of Tom York, Paul McCartney was there.
Yeah.
Tom Chaplin from Keane.
When he was
the
fat,
Darkness were in there as
wasn't
well.
Chubby.
What's he called? I was about to say Tim Healy, Fran Healy.
Fran Healy, yeah.
A chock-a-block man.
Yeah, Peterson, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's been brilliant over the last 40 years. I've done different versions. You've had all different acts of the day and even of prior days coming in. And no, it is. It's a legendary Christmas song. I hope when they actually put the proper song out that there's more bells and whistles in there. I did like the strings at the start. I quite liked that. That was a different sort of orchestral vibe that we're going for. Again, there's some people in there, even now, I don't fucking know who they are, from all eras, really. There was some older guy with grey hair. I think it may have been a recent one. I'm like, who is this fucking guy?
I had to laugh at that there. Trevor Horn had produced the new version and said he would have removed Sheeran's voice, vocals, if he'd known about the objection. Live Aid promoter Harvey
Been missed.
Goldsmith, who was also in Vine's show, remarked, stuff him. Wow, okay.
What was that? Stuff him. What a hatred for Ed. I think he was doing the bit that George Michael did back in the original. So he could have just fucking removed him.
Yeah.
And put George in there. George was
just-
far better at it.
Yeah.
Far better singer. Just everything was better. I mean, you're not getting Ed Sheeran after the passing of Freddie Mercury doing Somebody to Love, for instance, backstage at a tribute gig and absolutely fucking nailing it one take. An incredibly difficult song even for Freddie, not Fred. Fred Mercury.
Fred.
Said your friends did. For
Frederick.
Frederick to do back in the day. So George was a one of a kind, generational act. Still hard to believe that guy's lost now. He's not here. It was
Incredible,
anymore. I
isn't it?
mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't that old when he passed.
Christmas Day, wasn't
Fucking yeah. I mean,
2016.
Wham! Last
That
Christmas
year.
is one of my favourite,
Yeah.
if not my favourite Christmas songs. When I hear that, that's when I know it's Christmas. It's time to get serious now.
Christmas.
I hate that one. So you just have fucking removed Ed if you didn't want to burn it. But speaking about Ed, Stephen, I want to discuss Ed briefly because Ed's been getting absolutely roasted the last day or so after the Ipswich game with Man United. Incidentally, they drew. Man, you're a fucking shambles. Don't know what's happened to that incredible football club. New manager, what's going on with him? But Ed went onto the pitch
Right.
after the game and introduced himself to Jamie Carragher in the midst of an interview with this new manager, Anarim or something, I think, from Sporting Lisbon. They got him, and he's been getting absolutely tanned. So, just as a little aside, Ed's not had the best of weeks, or weeks, plural, a couple of weeks, because he's been getting destroyed from pillar to post for this, and now he's getting absolutely murdered off of football fans as well for coming in and butting into an interview on live TV. So, I feel for Ed a little bit. Edward's getting tanned. I don't know if that's what his name is. Don't know if his name is Edward. Never looked up. Never looked
Teddy?
it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
I
Ted.
don't know. Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
it said Ted fucking Rogers, and his name is Edward. I'm going to search it up now. It's Edward
Teddy.
Sheeran.
Ted Heath.
Edward Christopher Sheeran, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, he was
Edward.
born in Halifax. He is from Suffolk, incidentally, not Surrey, like I said. No, he's from West Yorkshire, but he was raised.
Sorry
in
for
Suffolk.
interrupting.
Yeah, he's getting tanned. Yeah. Ah, fucking nonsense, Steve. I mean, I watched it. It was innocent He went onto the pitch, had a little hug and he shook your hand to Carragher, and then, well, not a Carragher, Jamie Redknapp, then left. Couldn't much ado about nothing. I mean,
Bit random, yeah.
they just don't like him. A lot of people don't like Ed for some reason. He's a fucking harmless guy. He's harmless, man.
I don't really.
Hammer him, that guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of, it's not my style of music, what he does, but I don't actually mind the person behind the music. I don't mind. He doesn't offend me in any way.
You know what I love, man?
He comes across a very grounded person, and everything I've seen so far about him in interviews and stuff like that. But
I love his house setup. He's got like a complex. He's bought all these different houses around. They're almost like Paul McCartney, and he's built a pub in the middle, and there's tunnels from his house into the pub, and I can respect that. I like that, the fact he's got like his family and friends around about him. And he just lives in this little village.
scheme.
Yeah. Pubs in the middle.
Yeah.
Fucking great. Guy's living his best life.
Yeah, why not?
Tip my hat to him. Fair play.
I don't have much more to say about that, John.
No.
But in terms of the actual record itself, it's
alright. It's not the best version. The original's still the best.
The original can't be topped. That's the thing. It's a moment in time. More importantly, it's got a kind of. I don't know if I want to say this because it could be controversial, but the actual sound, the production of it is very wall of sound sounding,
Yeah.
with those chimes.
The other thing, Steve, I've not really discussed, I agree with you. The whole white saviour complex bollocks.
Yeah,
We've not really get into that,
Yeah,
have
I
we?
didn't really want to dig too deep, but
Yeah.
anyone that doesn't know, obviously, Sharon had shared a post by was it British Ghanaian rapper
Yeah.
Fuse ODG. I don't know if that's how you say it. Who argued the song perpetrates damaging stereotypes that Africa is plagued by famine and poverty, which can only be remedied by Western assistance. But I don't think that's the intent. I'm saying I don't think. I know that's not the intent. It's
Little
just
kids were starving
Yeah.
and they wanted to get them aid,
Yeah.
plain and simple. So, yeah, I don't really buy into the whole white
I
saviour
mean,
complex.
do we say
bollocks.
that about George Harrison's concert for Bangladesh?
exactly.
I mean, I think that was the first sort of rock charity, wasn't it?
I can't remember who was involved in totality in the original. Surely there was some black artists in there as well. It wasn't just all white fucking British and American artists. So, yeah, I don't really buy into that. I mean, it was a sort of almost
I'd have
like
to look back at it. I can't
children in
remember.
need effort over
Yeah.
here, where lots of people from society donated money, and I'm assuming it wasn't just fucking white people that donated money. There have been people from all demographics, so
Yeah.
I don't really buy into that.
It raised, as I said earlier on, John, it raised awareness. I think the intentions were very good at the time to raise awareness. Now, if you come from a certain background, you would have been aware of this anyway growing up, if you were, Roman Catholic or whatever, because they have certain, like Skiaf is obviously, a similar charity and stuff like that. So you're always aware of the sort of hardships and the sort of living hell that certain countries have got in terms of famine and war and stuff like that. And all you can do is help. And I totally agree with Tony Hadley in that sense that, just what do you do? Do nothing. No, of course you don't. But it shouldn't really matter who's doing it, as long as it's getting done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what background the person's coming from. I thought it was I always remember when it came out. Obviously, it was before your time, John. I know that, but I was 8 or 9 at the time when it came out, and it really did hit home, especially the harrowing scenes that were involved in the video at the time, the starving kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And David Bowie's introduction, the actual stats that he was telling about, it was thousands of kids per day, under the age of 4. So very harrowing, very hard hitting. And I don't know why anyone would criticise that, the intentions of that.
It's just society now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, the posts have kind of changed, the goalposts, and people look back retrospectively and view the world from a modern sort of perspective and try to juice it down. Is that even the right word? The juice down to I don't know. I mean, it's bollocks. Whole thing. I mean, we've spoken about this with films before as well.
Yeah,
They're 70 and 80 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
you might not agree with some of the themes explored in the film, but they were exploring a time period where that was the way of life, sadly.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to whitewash it. And to go back 70 years on and say, look, this is wrong, that's wrong, don't like the use of this, don't like that. Well, you're just viewing things from a modern perspective. That's not what it was like back then.
Yeah.
So you've got to view things logically when you look at the past. So I don't really buy into that. That's fucking bollocks for me. And ultimately, it's for a good cause. And if it keeps those fucking sausage roll fuckers out the charts, then I'm happy. You see, if I have to listen
I
to
forgot
them,
all about that.
if I have to listen to them dominate another Christmas chart, I know they've with like 4 number ones out the last 5 or 6. It's like, just get them in the bin.
Yeah.
Seriously, I've had enough of those two. Get
Was
them
that not for charity?
Oh, it was, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. Mind when people were moaning about Simon Cowell and the X Factor box getting a number 1 every year, I'd get back to that over that. Fucking built this city on sausage rolls. Get the
Yeah.
terrible, man.
Get Danny Malin at number 1.
The original was
Yeah.
terrible. Built this city on rock and roll. I hated that song.
Starts
Then
it,
they
yeah.
remixed it with sausage rolls. Oh, for fuck's sake. Everything that's wrong with British society.
We're
God
gonna,
awful.
I think we'll end on that note and we'll move
Shiter
on
of a
to
country.
our next topic, which is going to be gaming news. But before we do, folks, have you heard the new Band-Aid 40 remix? What do you think of it? Do you agree with Tony Hadley's response to Ed Sheeran's comments in terms of the intentions of the song and its portrayal in modern society? Just having a wee look. Hi, how you doing?
Hello there. Hi.
Good to someone's in. But if you've got anything to say on that, just drop a comment. We'll certainly respond. We'll read it and appreciate it as well.